Alright, this video is the second video along the same lines of solving for equations. The first video on 2.2, we basically went over very simple equations. It really just took us one step or two steps. Now we're going to add a couple more steps in there. It might take us 3 or 4 steps. And you can see we still have this same goal. Remember, isolating the variable means the same thing as getting that x or y or whatever variable you have in the equation, getting it by itself. Now the first two equations are still two-step equations, but the one thing that's in here is I'm going to skip the number 2. I'm going to do this one first. You can see we have a fraction right there. So that's a little bit new right there. Now if I'm doing number 2, I'm only looking at the right side. I don't care about the left side. I don't care about this -4. So I'm covering up that left side, and I'm going to move the -9 over and the -5/6. Now I'm going to move the -9 over first. I always get rid of this coefficient last. So if that's -9, then I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 9. Okay, I add 9, that cancels. And remember, the other thing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to draw a line straight down so I separate the left side from the right side. Okay, I add 9 on the left side. Now on the left side, -4 plus 9 gives me 5. On the right side, I just have -5/6x. Now, depending on how you do this, this could take you 2 more steps, or you could just get it all in one step. We're going to try to get this all in one step. Now, on the right side, since we have -5/6, what I want to do is I want to get rid of this -5/6. So you can see I'm putting grouping symbols around it. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Now, remember, reciprocal means I flip it. So instead of -5/6, I have 6 over -5. So what happens, these 6's cross cancel, these 5's cross cancel, and I still have to multiply it by a negative because now this negative times this negative cancel out. So these become positive, and just like that, I have x by itself. So I get that in one step. Now I have to do the same thing to the left side. So I'm going to put grouping symbols, and I'm going to multiply by this 6 over -5. Okay, when I do that, remember this 5 is like saying 5 over 1, so these 5's cross cancel. Don't forget about this negative, so my answer here is -6. Okay, so I just did number 2. You guys also do number 1 on your own because it's pretty much the same thing, right? This 2/3, eventually when you get 2/3 x by itself, then you multiply by the reciprocal, 3 over 2. So you can do that one on your own. All right, let's move on. Let's go to number 3. All right, good thing about number 3, there's no fractions in there. Now again, I just focus on the left. I don't even care about that 14 on the right side. I'm going to draw a line going down, so I separate the left and the right side. Now what I notice first is I can combine the x and the 2x, which gives me 3x, and I can bring down the -4, then it equals 14. Then at this point, you should be able to recognize that now you have 2 steps left. It's just like the equations from last night's video. So then we're going to add 4 to each side. That cancels. Add 4. Okay, I line everything up. The left side, I only have 3x left. The right side, I have, 14 plus 4, which is 18. And then since it's 3 times x, I do the opposite. I divide both sides by 3. 3 over 3 cancels, so I have x. Divide this by 3, so 18 divided by 3 is 6. All right? And what I'll also do right now, I'm going to check this. Remember, any equation you can check. So I'm going to erase this. If you didn't get this right now, you can pause it so you get all the steps. I'm going to erase all of this. I'm going to check right now that x equals 6 is the correct solution. So if I do that, I'm plugging in 6. So I have 6 plus 2 times, it's 2x, so it's 2 times 6. Then -4. And when I do all that work, it's got to equal 14. So then I have 6 plus 2 times 6 is 12. And then -4 equals 14. See here, 6 plus 12 is 18. And it works. 18 minus 4, that does equal 14. So I'll put a little check right there. I check that x equals 6 works. When you plug it in, you get the same number on the left side and the right side of the equation. So I'm assured that that is the correct solution to the equation. Okay, let's look at 4. Let's draw the line down. Now 4 is very similar. On the left side, I can combine. I have like terms. I have 4x and I have negative 7x. Don't forget that negative in front. So 4 minus 7 is negative 3, and I drop down the x with it. So I'm done with these. And then I just bring down the plus 5. I don't do anything to that right side, so I bring down the negative 1. Then at this point, it should be automatic. You have 2 steps left. We're going to get rid of that plus 5 first. We're going to do the opposite, subtract 5. That cancels. Subtract 5 on the right side. On the left side, we only have negative 3x. The right side, we have negative 1 minus 5, which is negative 6. Then, since it's negative 3 times x on the left side, we divide by negative 3. We always do the opposite. So I have x equals, and then here, these two negatives are going to cancel out because we're dividing. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's our answer right there. Okay, let's skip to number 6. Okay, let's do number 6. So all these ones that we're skipping, like we didn't do number 1 and number 5, after you're done this video, you're going to do those on your own, and then in class tomorrow, we're going to go over them. All right, so now this one, all the variables on the right side. So this is what I'm focusing on, the right side. Now what should stand out, and we did this a couple sections ago, is the parentheses. Right, they're the flashing lights. That means that you have to do that first because that's order of operations. Now, unfortunately, inside here, you have 4y plus 2. They're not like terms, so you can't add them together. So then we have to use our distributive property. And we're going to distribute negative 3. So when I do this, we're going to have negative 3 times 4y. I'm going to draw the line down. I'm just going to bring 38 down. When I distribute negative 3 times 4y is negative 12y. And then when I distribute negative 3 to the 2, we have minus 6. And then I just bring down the plus y. Okay, then I look at the right side. I have like terms. I have this, negative 12y and plus y. So this is like saying plus 1y. So negative 12 plus 1 is negative 11y. So I'm done with these y's. And then minus 6, I just bring that down. I bring the 38 down. And then again, at this point, you should be able to recognize you have 2 steps left. So I'm focusing all my attention on this right side. I have to add 6 to each side. That cancels. Add 6. So 38 plus 6 is 44 equals negative 11y. Since it's negative 11 times y, I divide both sides by negative 11. That cancels. Divide this by negative 11. And when we do that, 44 divided by negative 11, that gives us negative 4. Okay? Let's just do one more. We're going to do number 7. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the line straight down. And I'm just focusing on the left side because that's the only side that has variables. Again, those flashing lights that are blinking at me right now, they're saying, all right, get rid of me. Get rid of the parentheses. I can't combine the x plus 12, so I distribute the 3. So there I go, 3 times x is 3x. Then I go 3 times 12. Well, 3 times 12 is 36, and it's a plus. And then I bring down the minus x. And then I bring down the 8. Okay, common theme. Again, I'm just focusing on the left side. Here it is. I have 3x, and I have minus x or minus 1x. 3x minus 1x is 2x. So I'm done with the x's. I'll cross those out. So I just bring this 36 down. And then the right side, remember I'm ignoring, is just the 8. And then again, at this point, it should be automatic. You have 2 steps left. You're going to subtract 36. Okay, I bring down the x, so it's 2x equals. Let's see here. So you have 8 minus 36. This is going to give us a negative, let's see here, negative what, 28. And then since it's 2 times x on the left side, again, I'm focusing all my time on that left side to get x by itself. I divide by 2. That cancels. Divide this by 2. And negative 28 divided by 2 is negative 14. All right, so make sure you have all those notes that we did. So to look through, you're doing number 8 right now. You're doing number 5 and number 1. So 1, 5, and 8. Be very neat, be very organized, and remember, the very first thing you should be doing is this, right? For number 8, draw this line down, So you separate the left and the right side.